Welcome to the SAP Center in San Jose, California. It's the Leafs and the Toronto Maple Leafs, the second road game for the Maple Leafs. And the guardsmen of the galvanized gates tonight, James Reimer, 1-2-0 lifetime against the Sharks, and Antti Niemi, who is 2-1-0 lifetime against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how much room Phil Kessel gets tonight. You know the Sharks pre-scouted last night's game where he had plenty of room in the neutral zone. And this is a team that's a puck pressure team. They've got great size, the San Jose Sharks, and they love to get on the body early in this building. The key is to try to weather the storm here in San Jose in the first period.
Referees tonight, Dave Jackson of Montreal has followed us up here from Anaheim. Brian Pakmara of Detroit, the other referee. Jay Shears of New Westminster, BC. And Vancouver's Brad Lazarowicz will be the linesman. And we're underway, and we're glad you're along with us here on Sportsnet. Played to the Leaf blue line and knocked back by Carl Gunnarsson, swept by Demers into the center ice area, and now Gleason is able to roll it in past Bozak. Back to retrieve it is Vlasic and send it around on the near side. Nieto gets it out into the center ice area and down into the Toronto blue line area. It's a delayed offside, and the Sharks have to evacuate, and it's out into the center ice area. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Intact Insurance. Your home, your auto, your business. Ask your broker about Intact Insurance Company. Sharks get it out into the center ice area, and Demers sends it into the Toronto zone. Behind the net, there's Morgan Rielly, off the boards to center, quickly fed back to the blue line, and Rielly looks up ice with a pass onto the right wing, and a diagonal shoot-in is sent into the near corner. Quickly played out at center ice. Pavelski sends it in, and Reimer's out of the cage to play it into the corner for Carl Gunnarsson, who gets it out into the center ice area, missing Kadri with that breakout pass. Launched back in on a delayed offside. And with 1:14 gone in the first period, we get a whistle and a face-off center ice area.
You know, I talked to Dion Phaneuf this morning about Joe Thornton. He said he thinks that Joe Thornton is the toughest player in the National Hockey League down low behind the goal line. That's quite a statement. With his size and strength and his reach, he's very difficult to defend against, and Dion said you just got to keep pushing him, trying to knock him off stride as much as you can.
And his playmaking ability as well. Wingles into the corner, chased after. Now Havlat curls out of the corner with the puck. Couldn't get it around David Clarkson, who gets it out. Holland restores it, and Carl Gunnarsson is able to work his way through some traffic. He's across the line, pulls up, makes a nice little move to get it into the corner for Clarkson. Clarkson curls back, now cycles along for Raymond. Mason Raymond in the corner, chased by James Shepherd. Raymond curling out with it, drops it back to the blue line, and a hard shot taken there by Ranger. Provided a pretty good rebound, but no one could deliver. Now swept in front of the net. Clarkson couldn't come away with it. The Sharks have bounced it out into the center ice area. Paul Ranger got that shot through with some mustard on it. Jake Gardiner turns. Plays it ahead. That was deflected into the zone. Fourth line on the ice here for Toronto. Or unable to get to it. And out come the Sharks at center ice. Mike Brown, the former Leaf, gets it into the zone. Desjardins around back of the net. Now into the corner and fed by Brown back to the blue line. Creeping in is Justin Braun, and the shot from a sharp angle is handled there by Reimer, and it's going to be held for a face-off.
It was a tough couple of nights for Phaneuf and Gunnarsson, as they saw Getzlaf last night did a pretty good job against him, and then Thornton tonight. Two great big players, two big center icemen that love to handle the puck down low and try to power you out of the corners.
So the face-off to the left of Reimer. Leafs lost to San Jose 4-2 back in December. So they'll try to even that score here tonight as Van Riemsdyk carries to the line and in. Backhand behind the goal. Bozak trying to shield it off centered. It comes back to the blue line to Gleason. A pass in front. Redirected there by Van Riemsdyk, who's pleading that Jason Demers may have redirected it, and he may have won the argument. The faceoff is inside the zone, or is it? No, it's not. Coming outside the zone.
How good was Phil Kessel again last night, streaking through the middle, getting a big goal on the breakaway. It's remarkable. Since January 1, he is leading all players, including Sidney Crosby, in points. And he is right up there in the top now in the National Hockey League. What a year he's had.
And what a second half he has had. That line is among the league's best. And he and Bozak have been really on fire here since Bozak's return from injury. A pass up onto the right wing side. Here's Burns flipping it down into the zone. Pavelski goes in there after it as it's knocked away by Phaneuf. Pinching down is Dan Boyle to keep it alive. Far side for Kessel. He won't get there ahead of Irwin. Irwin into the corner, and now Phaneuf chases him. A pass back into the slot, knocked out of the air by Van Riemsdyk. Striding away, but being caught from behind by Boyle and stripped to the puck by the defenseman. Great play made by Boyle. Up on the right wing side now, brought in by Couture. Logan Couture closes in, and he shot it high and wide. Demers to the far side, long wrist shot, blocking arm save Reimer. Into the corner now for Nieto, into the slot. It comes a drive, scores! Marc-Edouard Vlasic.
Well, the big line gets caught out on a pretty long shift. And the San Jose Sharks take advantage of that. They go D to D, and they love to work it down behind the low blue line. And there is the giveaway there by Gardner. Right to Vlasic. He makes no mistake through Reimer. And he just absolutely beats him. Vlasic right in the short side, and an early goal once again for San Jose that have been doing that all season long.
They have a penchant for scoring early goals 6 times in the first minute of a game, 10 times in the first 2 minutes of a game. This comes at 3:08 of the period. Now brought in with a shot off the goalpost as it rings wide of the net. Braun trying to keep it in as it's played off the boards at center. Now a race for the puck. Here's a chance for Mason Raymond. Back at 50, score! Jake Gardner comes through on a beautiful pass from Raymond, and the game is tied at 1.
Well, a huge answer here right away. And right from the zone. And there is the giveaway as the Sharks overskate the puck, and Gardner, he just jumps right up, and then when he does that, falls the play in and gets a beautiful pass as he strips the puck from Havlat, who has not played a lot for the San Jose Sharks team. And what a play by Mason Raymond on his backhand to shove it across the crease to find Gardner coming in late.
1:15 apart. Vlasic's 5th for San Jose. Jake Gardner's 7th for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And now we've got Troy Bodie going at it with Brown. Bodie trying to get an arm free, gets the helmet off Brown, now trying to get a right arm free. Brown got the first couple in. Bodie's the bigger man. And now Bodie getting a couple of his in. Down goes Brown.
Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the Molson Canadian Beer Fridge, Project Indonesia. See the whole story online.
Toronto penalty, number 40, Troy Bodie. San Jose penalty, number 18, Mike Brown. Both 5 minutes per fight at 4:26.
So one more look at this Leaf goal here as a giveaway by the Sharks in the offensive blue line, and that allows Gardner, who initially made the defensive play, to jump up. Niemi plays the shooter as he has to, and a great play coming late by Gardner after a terrific pass by Mason Raymond.
Scott Hannon couldn't catch him. And Gardner gets his 7th of the year from Mason Raymond, and the game is tied to the goal.
His 7th goal
And high stick going to be brought down into the Toronto zone.
Now Brown very active in his first shift of the game, or I guess second shift of the game, and Rafi Torres has been playing, coming back from injury the last 6 for the San Jose Sharks. They're resting him tonight, so that allows Brown to draw back into the lineup after Rafi Torres, who's a real energy guy for the San Jose Sharks, has been a welcome addition. So Brown makes his presence felt early here in this game, trying to get back in the lineup.
Draw won by the Maple Leafs and carried out by Van Riemsdyk. A diagonal shoot in, Kessel after it, but is beaten to the puck by Vlasic. Now Van Riemsdyk trying to pressure, gets it back of the net, but not away from the defense, and it's chipped by Thornton now into the Toronto zone. Phaneuf back in his own territory, got it to the blue line, fed back for Thornton. Thornton's pass was a weak one, and then a shot into the Toronto end. Van Riemsdyk trying to get it by the pinching Jason Demers. Behind the net, it goes into the corner. Phaneuf tied up his man Brown, but now Thornton's pass comes all the way back out at center ice. Demers is going to rattle it around the boards. Nikolai Kulemin over to the left wing side for Van Riemsdyk. Middle of a change for Toronto. Played off the boards to center. Kulemin couldn't get it, and that'll force Riley back into his own zone. Logan Couture doing the forechecking as the Leafs get it out at center. Flipped into the zone then by Kulemin. Here's Kadri around behind the net. Tied up back there. The puck goes free into the corner. Now is grabbed off by Scott Hannon and played into the near corner for Patrick Marleau. Marleau sends it out at center ice. A very quick response to the opening goal of the game for the Maple Leafs, and this game has settled down because of it. Right back into San Jose territory. Braun lays it into the corner for Shepherd, and it's out into the center ice area again. And here's Ranger with a lead pass to find David Clarkson. Clarkson plays it out at center. Lupul tipped it, but couldn't get it to his centerman as Holland was cruising through. Now a giveaway here, and a shot goes wide of the Leaf net. Ranger in the corner, able to dig it out and push it up ahead at center. Mason Raymond to the right wing side for David Clarkson. Jammed to the boards, the puck goes free to Irwin, and it's out on the near side, and Wingels gets it out into the center ice area. Across the line for Boyle, a weak shot, went wide of the Leaf goal, a jam play in front. Down is Reimer looking for it, and it is behind the goal with Mason Raymond. And he's going to elevate it through center ice. Dan Boyle plays it through center, wrapped to the blue line and in. Kulemin couldn't reach it, and it's back into the center ice area. Good hit there by Gleason to send Burish off of the puck, and now Gleason was able to backhand it off the boards to center. Demers back into neutral ice. Gleason regrouping here as the pass comes ahead for Nikolai Kulemin. Kulemin in on the left wing with a drive that is caught by Niemi and held for a face-off with a little bit of gathering going on in front of the San Jose goaltender. A 1-1 tie. Vlasic and Gardner the goal scorers.
Well, a heavy forecheck. We've seen that already in the first goal by the San Jose Sharks, and the Sharks obviously want to try to use their size to slow down this very quick Leaf team, particularly the Bozak line.
Two defensemen have scored goals, and the offense from the defense. That's the 25th goal for the Maple Leafs and the 113th point from the rear guards. And for the Sharks, their 28th goal and 120, or make it 130 points now from the defense. Thornton's pass knocked away and gobbled up there by Van Riemsdyk and fed ahead there for Bozak. Bozak taken to the boards by Demers. Here's Thornton in over the line. He drops it back. A shot by Vlasic went over top of the goal. He had another great look from right down the slot. Demers sends it in along the boards. Back to Demers again, and a shot that deflects off a stick wide of the net. Nieto back to the blue line with a long shot in front that was knocked down in front of the goal, I believe, by Gleason. He's shaken up a little bit from that hit. And it is Phaneuf rattling it off the glass and getting it through center ice, in a scampering change here by the Maple Leafs. Brought in over the line now by Couture. Couture plays it into the corner. Kadri got a piece of his man. It comes to the blue line, fed by Braun to the far side, and the shot was wide of the Leaf net. Another shot on the near wing by Braun goes wide of the goal. Gunnarsson faked the shootout and then gets it to Kadri, who's able to chip it into the center ice area. 11:14 to play here in period number 1, and the game is tied at 1. Ranger into the corner now with Patrick Marleau. Behind the net, knocked by Gardner and then fed by Ranger around on the near wall. Kuhlman is able to chop it. Did he get it out? No. Still into the Toronto zone. Loose man in front of the goal is Couture, but they can't get him the puck. It's shot wide of the net, and behind the goal it goes. Marleau looking in front. Down the chute comes Dan Boyle, the defenseman. It went away from him. He gets it in the corner, though. Boyle back of the goal line is knocked down, and it's pushed along the wall, but not out. Kuhlman waiting patiently, but Shepard is able to provide it back to the point. Long shot, deflects with a high stick. Down. Now, wait a minute. The puck's in the net. This is going to be interesting. I think that was a high stick.
No goal anyway. The ref's right there saying the whistle went. It went in, but the ref is going to say he blew the whistle first.
So they'll go over and discuss it, Messrs. Jackson and Pakmara, and we'll get a look at it on the overhead.
The puck goes in the net there. The official waved it off, and he's not in a good position, but he's going to say that the whistle went.
I don't think because of that left pad that the official could see that it went into the net as quickly as it did.
Remember, they can't go upstairs for that. Just whether the puck goes over the line or not, clearly it did.
I'd like to get a look and see if the shot from the blue line was knocked down with a high stick or not. But it's irrelevant now.
Not gonna matter.
Won't matter.
Whistle blew. Or the intent to blow the whistle by the official. One or the other. Either way, that's the rule.
Greg, before we go any further, I want to send our condolences out to the Trafford family on the passing of Terry Trafford, the young hockey player with the Saginaw Spirit. I mean, it's an absolute tragic day for hockey. We had the episode last night in Dallas that had everybody's heart in their collective throats. And then today with the word of this, it really is a very difficult day for the sport.
And does the official make the initial call because it's a high stick? Well, that clearly isn't. And I don't, my opinion while watching the official, who's not in a great position there, that he was going to call it because he thought that Reimer had the puck.
Well, they are
they're
still
going to go upstairs.
Well, they're going to Toronto is where they're going. Here's what a look at the play with Reimer going back, and watch his left leg, I think, blocks out there whether the puck's in the net, right? And that was the vision that the official had.
Dave Jackson's right there waving off.
No goal. All right. So no goal, and the game is still tied at 1. A draw to the right of James Reimer. 10:23 to go in the first period. Vlasic from Nieto and Gardner from Raymond are the scoring plays thus far. Draw one by San Jose. Off on the right wing side, too far for Boyle. He centered hard, went off a skate. Al Clarkson can't get it out, and the shot goes wide of the Leaf net. A quick up ahead for Raymond. He knocked it down but couldn't control it. San Jose pressing again, knocking it into the Leaf zone. Wingles into the corner against Carl Gunnarsson. The Leafs get it up on the wing for Raymond. Raymond's rink-wide pass went off a stick. Now Clarkson trying to get to it, but it is an icing call. So it'll be brought back into the Toronto zone. Peter Holland arguing that it went off a San Jose player.
Unless your TV's in the kitchen, you'll want a finger cook tonight. Order from over 100 menu items at bostonpizza.com.
Face off to the left of Reimer in the Toronto zone. Pavelski won the draw. A Braun shot, blocked, rebound, sent off the side of the goal. Thornton got it away. Hannon trying to keep it in. Ranger had it hit a leg. Thornton plays to an open corner. Mason Raymond getting there. Can't get it away there from Brett Burns. A Barrie native trying to push it along the boards, but Ranger helped out to get it out at center ice. The Leafs have not had about 3 good shifts. They've been stuck in their own end. Burns with a shot, pad save, and it bounces into the glove of Reimer. He's going to hold on. 9:16 to play, first period. 1-1 the score here on Sportsnet.
Well, Jake Gardiner had a tough start to the game, although the Leafs were hemmed into their own zone here as he tries to beat one-on-one in the zone, sent Nino behind the net. And then he gives the puck away, and then Vlasic drives it home for the initial lead for the Sharks. But give Gardiner credit right away. He comes right back and ties the game up by going to the net and joining the attack. And we get a tie game.
Puck in front of the goal, a shot right on, and Reimer got across with the right leg. Played along the boards, Bozak can't get it out. Phaneuf is tied up, Burns centering. Where's the puck? It's still free in front, down is Reimer. The scramble is on, and it's played into the stop and net. Shot, scores! No! Waved off! Oh boy! I'm pretty sure that one went in.
Well, it went in, but I think he's going to call goalie interference. I don't know. Clearly the first San Jose Shark goal that was waved off should have counted. The reason it didn't, the officials said that he thought Reimer had it covered. Now we got a discussion. And Joe Thornton is right on top of Reimer, but he gets pushed in. And then afterwards the goal goes in, and Jackson's going to say that Thornton interfered with James Reimer. And he was on top of him. There's no doubt about that.
So they're going to discuss it. Is it enough to warrant a penalty or just a goal being waved off?
Todd McClellan has put Pavelski up with Thornton on the big line with Burns on the other side, and they've been a handful since he's done it. And what it's done has given young Shepherd an opportunity in the third center ice position to take Pavelski's place. And here's Reimer bobbling the puck in front of the net. It's a big collision. Thornton gets the puck back to the point, and then the shot goes through. Reimer immediately goes after the official and says he's being interfered with. And Thornton is there. He kind of gets pushed there by Dion Phaneuf, but then he pushes on him as well, pushing off him. And Jackson is right there, and he's calling goalie interference, I believe.
Here
We're
it
going to
is.
find out.
After video review, the puck enters the net, the goal is good.
Wow. So Jackson didn't see the puck go in the net because obviously they cannot go upstairs for goalie interference. They can't do that. So they were going up to see whether or not the puck was over the goal line. We knew that. We just assumed that was a good goal. Quite a start. Jackson's right there.
Well, I would say the first one should have counted and that one shouldn't have. So let's just call it a wash and move on.
Not bad.
Nothing to see here, just keep moving.
Thornton was pushed in, but he definitely stayed there and pushed off the goaltender, no doubt about it. But again, you can't go upstairs for video replay for that.
88 Burns from 19 Thornton at 11:04.
So Thornton and Burns get the assists on the goal. And you're right, that line, Burns is 6'5", and a big body with 230 pounds, a former Brampton Battalion. You look at Thornton, 6'4", and 2 1/4 at least, and they've got some size, and Pavelski, he just kind of sifts around and does a pretty good job of puck control and puck possession. Center ice area, Leafs trail for the second time in the game. Here's Van Riemsdyk launching it in, knocked down by Vlasic. and he'll bank it behind the goal. Kessel got there. That draws a crowd. Bozak couldn't come up with it. And it is Nieto getting it ahead, and out comes Vlasic. He'll snap it into the Toronto zone. Around on the far side. Morgan Riley got to his man. The puck comes free. Marleau back to the blue line. Vlasic can't keep it in. Long shoot in. Ends up in the screen and out of play. And there'll be a face-off back in the neutral zone as a result.
This period brought to you by the all-new 2014 Toyota Corolla. Corolla, like you've never seen it before.
Well, the shots in this game, 12-3 in favor of the San Jose Sharks, and they are starting to take over here early. One thing the Sharks have done well in this period, off the rush, they've been hitting the late men, and the Leafs are going to have to be much more aware, particularly the defense, or the forwards rather, in the back check of their late men assignments coming into the zone.
And they have gotten some grade A chances from right at the top of the circles, right in the middle of the ice, as another icing charge here against Toronto will bring it back. Burns from Thornton at 11:04. And the Sharks have a 2-1 lead. The draw to the right of James Reimer. The Leafs will return to Los Angeles tonight, play there Thursday, and then move east with games against Washington and Detroit. Both of those teams lost this evening. Holland waved out of the face-off circle. Shepherd taking the draw. The Leafs still third in the Eastern Conference in points. As it's played up on the left wing side, and Raymond gets it on to Holland. Now shot into the zone. Down the boards goes Clarkson, kicking it back at the net. Holland left it there. Raymond unable to come out. Now Holland in the corner. Back to the blue line to Morgan Riley. A shot wide. Wrap around attempt. Comes in front. Another backhand goes across the goal crease. And it comes out on the near side. Scramble there, and Clarkson trying to wrap it around. Just couldn't quite get the angle to come out in front. And Niemi got across with that right pad. But then the scramble was on. Here the Sharks in again. Couture with a pass in front out of the reach of Marleau. Along the boards it goes for Kadri and sent back. The fans here in the Shark Tank are fairly used to winning. 24-4-4, a record for the San Jose Sharks on home ice this year.
17-6-3 against the Eastern Conference.
And this is a stretch of 12 consecutive games against Eastern opponents, and they're 5-1-1 thus far in those games.
And this has been the Leafs' best line so far in this first period. As Clarkson gets a wraparound attempt, and Mason Raymond, when he's been on the ice, has been effective in his few shifts, and Niemi goes from post to post with that long reach on his legs.
Long shoot in, directed into the screen off the blocking glove of Antti Niemi. And so it'll be a face-off in the circle to his right.
And Niemi didn't play a lot after the Olympic break. They gave him a bit of a rest. And the last couple of games, this is his third start in a row. He's been very sharp, and he's been terrific here in San Jose since coming over from Chicago.
Pavelski won that face-off. Burns, he, and Thornton are back onto the ice as it rolls down towards Reimer. They didn't get the icing Reimer thought they were going to get. And now it's Pavelski getting it into the corner for Burns. Burns works the boards to Thornton. Pass broken up and brought out by Kessel. Kessel on the left wing for Van Riemsdyk, trying to bounce it in front of the net. That didn't work. Bozak, rink wide for Phaneuf. He stops as he couldn't handle a pass and took a hit there from Thornton. And it's out into the center ice area. Drop pass now, trying to find Pavelski and shooting it wide of the goal. Loose puck in the corner and a penalty coming here. And it's going to be a holding call against the Maple Leafs. The Leafs trail 2-1 and face the power play for the first time this evening.
Well, Dion Phaneuf wasn't kidding when he said that Joe Thornton's a handful. Pretty good example right there as Thornton absolutely runs over Dion Phaneuf, and there's holding the stick here as James Van Riemsdyk holds Brown's stick for an extra second, and that's why he's in the penalty box for 2 or less. The Sharks have been struggling on the power play, 2 for 48 for their last 48. And that's hard to believe with all that talent.
Chipped in front of the net, grabbed off by Jay McClement. He gets it ahead, and Raymond is going to send a bouncing shot in towards Niemi, who had to come out and field it before it did hop. And there'll be a face-off coming in the Shark zone. Leafs penalty kill has been much better of late. They've given up just 4 of 32 in their last 12 games, which is 87.5%. A draw won by the Sharks. Pavelski sifts around behind the net. And it's Demers bringing it to center and dropping for Pavelski. Onto the left wing side it goes. Marleau to the front of the net. Back it comes to the point, a shot. And Reimer got a piece of that with Marleau right in front of the goal. Trying to get it out over the line was Kuhlman. And he did, and he gets a change of players as Thornton brings it into the zone. He'll drop it off and get it returned. Thornton's pass off a stick to the side of the goal. Dion Phaneuf rattling it around the boards, but it won't have enough to get past Demers. Demers' pass is intercepted, and Jay McClement just gets it out. He was at the tail end of the penalty killing shift for him, or he might have thought about taking that the other way. Boyle rattles it around the boards far side. Gleason is able to punch it around to the near wing, but Burns is there. The former defenseman gets it into the corner. Now Burns along the wall to the blue line. Boyle to the far side, and a shot knocked away in front of the goal. It comes back to Burns. Backhand shot doesn't reach the net. Chopped at and launched out and down the ice by Paul Ranger. Boyle to Irwin. And he'll send it off the glass into the Toronto zone. 24 seconds left in the penalty, and Raymond gets it out and down the ice. McClement will force the issue a bit here with Irwin taking it into safety, and he'll drop it off, and Boyle starts out of his own zone. 10 seconds in the penalty. Boyle on the wing. Goes after it himself into the corner. Phaneuf lost an edge and fell. Back to the blue line. Burns with a pass in front, and that went off a stick wide. Penalty is over. Van Riemsdyk is out. Kuhlman working down the right wing. Puts the brakes on. Tried to sift it back. He had Gardner breaking, but it never reached him. Morgan Riley on the left wing for Kuhlman. Pass off a skate, goes to the side of the goal. Sharks trying to play it around on the boards. Van Riemsdyk chasing Justin Braun, and it is restored and brought out at center ice now by San Jose. Near side for Havlat. Martin Havlat works wide and goes behind the net. Havlat carries to the corner. Back to the blue line it comes, and a pass to the near side. Hannon couldn't handle it. Lifted back into the corner, swatted up on the near half boards, and the Leafs get it out at center, and Lupul will lift it down into the San Jose end. His pass was partially blocked, and onto the stick of James Shepherd. Shepherd now for Braun. Braun in on the right wing side, plays back to the net. Gleason gets a good hit in on Shepherd, and then it is Ranger intercepting and launching it high down the left wing boards for Bozak. Bozak twists and turns, tries to center, and the pass was blocked. Patrick Marleau gets it out. San Jose counter-attacking again with Shepherd. Shepherd on the backhand, and that's going high enough to reach the screen as it ramped off a lead stick and goes out of play with 2:03 to play in the period.
Well, Todd McLellan, the coach of the Sharks, has done another magnificent job this year, but everybody knows he's going to be judged on his playoff performance coming up shortly. And the one thing the Sharks are trying to do is to catch that first place so they don't have a big-time opponent in the first round like the Los Angeles Kings. Everybody wants first in that division for that reason.
So they were pretty happy about the Leafs result last night.
Big time.
With Anaheim. Holland up forechecking as it comes to center ice. That's gone high and over the benches and into the crowd.
Is the way the playoffs work in the Western Conference. There's going to be a very good team at the moment out after the first round, which is a shame, really. And you know that the Sharks will always be judged on their playoffs based on their performance the last number of years.
2 conference finals that didn't get them to the big show. And then some fairly early exits in the last 2 attempts.
And the players will tell you that basically they feel real comfortable against Chicago and Anaheim, but they've had a very difficult time winning in Los Angeles again this year. So they don't want to see them at all in the first round.
Pass into the slot area, launched by Raymond down into San Jose territory. Irwin plays around on the boards. Gleason, did he trap it? No, it got by him. Well, he got the stick out of Mike Brown's hands anyway. Brown able to get it down into the zone, and he'll go after his cue as it's back into the near corner. Morgan Riley playing it up the boards, but not out. It comes back to the blue line, and a shot by Brown went off a leg and went wide. Troy Bodie out there as well, making the block. Bouchard into the blue line. A shot goes wide of the Leaf net. Around on the near side for Jay McClement. McClement to Bodie. Bodie gets out at center and can't get it in deep. The Leafs will get a change going with less than a minute to go in the period. 2-1 in favor of San Jose. Boyle. A pass on the left wing, and Burns couldn't deliver a backhand. Now it comes in front of the net, and Dion Phaneuf is able to get it out and just miss Kessel. This is going to go for an icing. So it'll be brought back into the Toronto zone with a half-minute to play.
This period brought to you by the all-new 2014 Toyota Corolla. Corolla, like you've never seen it before.
Timmy Gleason with a good play here.
Yeah, well, he's a weighty type player, and he's lucky he got the stick on that particular play. And with this face-off in the Leaf zone, you got Joe Pavelski is over a 55%er, and Joe Thornton, who's really good at the dot also. And here's the direct draw by Pavelski straight back. It almost works for the San Jose Sharks. So when you ice the puck against the big line, it's not normally a good thing to do because they're so strong at the dot.
Pavelski won the draw. Here's a chance for Demers into the corner. Sent to the far wing. Carl Gunnarsson is just going to play it out at center ice. Timmy Gleason has enjoyed his time in Toronto. The Leafs have gone 14-6-3 since acquiring him while they were playing in the Outdoor Classic. Thornton in over the line. Back to the blue line. A shot by Vlasic goes wide. 3 seconds left in the period. And that'll do it. Vlasic opened the scoring. We get some shoving down in the corner. And Gardner tied it a minute 15 later, and Burns scores at 11:04 to give the Sharks a 2-1 lead to take to the dressing room. We'll turn it back to Jeff Marek and the panel. 2-1 in favor of the San Jose Sharks after the first period here at the SAP Center in San Jose. Let's go downstairs to Christine and Chris.
Thanks, Joe. Chris, with Cody Franson out, obviously forcing the Leafs to make a few adjustments, down to 6 defensemen, but that's not the only adjustment they've had to get used to.
Well, it's 6 left-handed defensemen, which is, an issue that they deal with all the time, with Cody Franson being on the right. So it's Jake Gardner that started the game on the right-hand side. That's out of position for him. He has played it before, and here we see on the very first goal, Nieto takes the puck from him. It's in the net. I'm not saying it's just because of that adjustment, but that's something that definitely to struggle with. They move him back to the left, and lo and behold, on the very next shift, it's him that chips it past Havlat and gets the first goal here for the Leafs. And in 10 seconds there, you see the good and bad of what can happen with him on the ice.
Well, we see James Reimer get his first start since March 3rd. What do you think?
Tough one here. I think, coming into this building, very difficult atmosphere. and all that, and we saw him struggle early. Obviously, the early goal, then right after, James Shepard comes down, brings his shot off the post. You know, we saw James Reimer doing what he does a lot. He's battling the crease, a lot of movement, certainly a difference from what we saw in John and Bernier in 43 saves in Anaheim last night, and I think it's very key that he settles down. We started to see it a bit, I thought, towards the end of the first period, and it's very clear that if the Leafs are going to come out of here with a victory tonight, James Reimer is going to have to steal them one.
Joe, we'll get ready for the second. Up to you.
Thank you very much, Christine and Chris. It's 2-1 here. Vlasic and Burns for the Sharks, Gardner for the Maple Leafs. And the shots were 14-6 in favor, and more importantly, almost 71% face-off winning percentage by the Sharks. And Joe Pavelski is 7-2, so when the big line starts with the puck all the time, good things usually happen for the Sharks.
Well, they're third in the National Hockey League in face-offs. The team average is 52.8%, which is pretty good. And all their center icemen are at least 50% or better. So this is nothing new, Joe.
The face-off is knocked down into the Toronto zone. Reimer tucks it there for Gleason. Up on the wing for Van Riemsdyk. He swatted it. Now a lead pass that is knocked away from Kessel by Vlasic. Phaneuf is able to scoop it into the San Jose zone. Demers for Vlasic, partially knocked down, then launched through center ice and played to the line and out by Morgan Rielly, but quickly back in. Marleau with a shot over top of the goal. Fed behind the net now, and coming out with it is Logan Couture. Set it back behind the net. Looking for Marleau in front of the net was Burns. And it is now restored, and now here is Rielly with a bank pass to try and spring Kessel, and out at center ice, Van Riemsdyk will shoot it in. Changes coming for the Maple Leafs as Raymond goes into the forecheck. Van Riemsdyk late to change, and now is on the ice and forced back into his own zone, and he's a tired camper out there. Along the boards, grabbed off now by Pavelski. Thornton back to the blue line. Long shot goes wide of Reimer's cage. Carried in now by Hannon. A jam in there as Kuhlman got a piece of his man. Back to the point again. Pavelski shot knocked into the corner off the backboards by goaltender Reimer. Back to the blue line to Scott Hannon. Far side, a long shot. That bounced out of the stick, or the glove hand rather, of Reimer, and the Leafs still hemmed in their own end. Here's Hannon with a shot, blocking arm save. It reaches the mesh, fortunately for Reimer, and that'll give a much needed change, especially for James Van Riemsdyk.
Well, young Morgan Rielly here in his own zone with a little bit of a soft play through the neutral zone, and this was it starts all the trouble, and now the Leafs are hemmed in. And then if you have an opportunity for a goaltender to freeze the puck, you have to in that position there, because his teammates are tired on the ice, and Reimer couldn't find a handle on it. That caused another chance to score in the Leaf zone.
Another face-off win by San Jose, but an errant pass is swept out and down the ice.
And when you're playing great teams like San Jose, it's all those little details that have to be sharp.
Into the center ice area, chopped by Kadri, back into his own zone to Ranger. Up ahead for Clarkson. His pass hit a skate. Carried back by Shepard. He'll get it to the Toronto line. Down went Rangers. The puck goes into the corner. Ranger gets it freed up, and it is Clarkson getting it out at center ice. Then Clarkson collides with Kadri. Clarkson trying to get it in, but can't. Shepard brings it right back the other way. Irwin in with a pass that's knocked away by Ranger on a good block. Up on the near wall, but not cleared. Back into the corner it goes. Ranger got it freed up for Clarkson, and is behind the back pass to goes to Kadri, and he just gets it in to get a change going. Leafs are doing everything they can just to get out of their own end, and after being hemmed in that zone, they're not getting any offensive zone time, and they're right back into the defensive end now. Down is the loose puck, and it's cleared into the corner by Kuhlman. Kuhlman trying to muscle it out at the line. Had it blocked, now batted it out. That should be a glove pass, and it is. And it'll be a whistle down for a face-off coming back in the Toronto zone to the left.
Well, you heard Chris talk about James Reimer during his first intermission piece, and you know, yeah, he might be having a bit of a tough time finding pucks through traffic at the moment with his inactivity. But one thing about James Reimer, and he deserves credit, he battles. And he battles hard. In the first period, he was beat a couple of times. Looked like it was going to go in the net, but he found a way through just straight determination. And that's what's keeping him in the National Hockey League.
Face-off won by Toronto this time, but launched down the ice by Paul Ranger, and Orr won't get to it. It's coming all the way back into the Toronto end.
Holt Nora out after an extended period of time. Of course, coming in tonight, drawing in because of the injury to Cody Franson. And there's another look at the face-off. Nobody under 50% on the team. Amazing.
Draw scrummed, and Bodie plays behind the goal for Ranger. He gets it on the wing, and Orr slashes it off a body down into San Jose territory. Troy Bodie played it in front of the net. It comes to the near wing. Ranger one hands into the corner. Now around to the far side, knocked down by Desjardins, and the lively Ontario native gets it out into the center ice area. Hannon turns it over, but then the Leafs can't penetrate. Desjardins back in with a shot, and that went off a heel of a stick wide of the net. Desjardins with it again. Bodie is able to get it to the line and out, and then Orr runs over his man Demers.
And Orr hurt himself doing it.
Vlasic back the other way. Nieto back to the blue line, and the shot is smothered this time by Reimer with traffic developing in front of the net.
Nora went to the bench in a little bit of discomfort. I'm not quite sure why. And he ended up laying out the hit on Demers, and then you can see him going to the bench and grimacing a little bit.
Paul out the trainer over to see if he's all right. 4 minutes played into the second period. And it is 2-1. Around on the boards for Van Riemsdyk. He skates to the red line. Diagonal shoot in. Too far for Kessel. Demers up on the wing. And it is Couture getting it out into the center ice area. Logan's dad, one of our favorites. Chet Couture, a referee in the National Lacrosse League for many years. Shot goes wide of the goal. Marleau trying to center, doesn't work. Nieto plays behind the net for Couture. The Lucan, Ontario native cycles the puck again. Bank pass back to the blue line. Long shot steered wide by Reimer's stick. Marleau behind the net, and the wraparound attempt is smothered by Reimer on the short side. James Reimer is keeping the Leafs hanging around.
He's had 22 shots on him here, just 2 goals against him. And even though the San Jose Sharks are getting tons of zone time and some pretty good looks, it's still just 2-1 as the Leafs are hanging around this game so far early in the second. That's a darn good stop by Reimer getting across.
Sharks average 34.9 shots a game, which is the most in the National Hockey League. There it is. A face out to the left wasn't done correctly. What do you think of the idea of moving centerman back a foot if you encroach on the face-off circle to like that?
Be interesting, huh?
What do? Go to the bench and get a longer stick? Shot goes wide of the Leaf net. Here's Phaneuf. Up ahead, McClement got it on to Kuhlman. Here's Phaneuf running into the linesman, and then Boyle, who had the bomb doors open for Phaneuf, ends up getting the linesman instead.
And the linesman got the worst of that one.
Both hits.
And you can see here comes Phaneuf saw him at the last second. And the good news for the official is he did as well. And he was in the middle of the sandwich there, wasn't he?
Jay Scherz almost got the double whammy. Face-off outside the blue line. Vlasic into the far area for Demers. Out at center, turned back, the Maple Leafs with Kessel in on the wing. He puts the brakes on. Outtaken to the boards by Demers. Van Riemsdyk swinging it around the boards, and Ranger tries to pinch and does, and gets it down a little deeper. Van Riemsdyk, down goes Bozak. Kessel overskated the puck. 4 Sharks come to center ice. Up on the left wing now for Couture. Trying to play it in front of the net. Gardner took it away from him. But Couture restores it and then sends it at the net. That's stopped. There's a rebound, and it bounces wide of the goal. Leafs unable to get to it. Back to the blue line. A drive by Scott Hannon is stopped by Reimer. Van Riemsdyk can't get it out. Into the corner now is Ranger. Plays to an open corner, but it is there for Shepherd to retain. Now a centering pass comes in front, and Kessel blocked that. And the Leafs are able to just get it out at center, but not get it in deep. Shepherd again, in over the line, driving the net, and the net is dislodged in behind. Reimer by Paul Ranger, as driving the net was Tommy Wingels.
Vlasic, such a terrific defenseman for the San Jose Sharks. What a year he has had, but a very dangerous looking play moments ago. Watch Bozak skate here as it comes up and clips him right in the face. He went directly to the bench and then right to the locker room. And let's hope he is okay. Seems to be holding his mouth actually going, or that area going to the locker room. He's got 4 shots in this game, Vlasic, and a goal. He's been terrific tonight.
And another offensive zone face-off for San Jose. Shepherd will take the draw. And Peter Holland won this one. Riley plays it ahead. Holland got it out. Sharks get it right back in again. Martin Havlat with a long shot, snared by the glove of goaltender James Reimer.
Intact Insurance is proud to sponsor the Toronto Maple Leafs and all the fans who keep believing. Intact Insurance, you're back.
The Sharks started the season at 19-3-5 and have gone 22-14-2 since that time. What a great start they got. And they've been consistent. A shot right off the faceoff is blocked by Clarkson. Pushed up on the wall for Holland. Tied up by Scott Hannon. Marty Havlat couldn't come up with it, and it's behind the goal, and now it is Riley getting it out, and a lead pass for Holland across the line. Whoa, he got filled in there! And Clarkson taking a look at Tommy Wingels. Here's a loose puck down into the Toronto zone. Long shot, scores!
Wingels with a big-time hit on Holland here. Now Clarkson follows him all the way up the ice afterwards. And Wingels doesn't want any part of him. So what does Wingels do? He goes to the net and then redirects the puck into the goal and rubs more salt into the Leafs' wound here. Going to the net with the high tip, and it redirects past Reimer.
So the Sharks have taken a 3-1 lead. As it's down into the Toronto zone again.
Scored by number 57, Tommy Wingels.
15th of the year for Wingels.
So Wingels with the initial check to create the giveaway and the rush. And he sneaks up into the high slot and redirects the puck.
Orr tried to get it back to the defense. Now it's into the boards area, and along the wall it comes to Jay McClement. McClement got it ahead. Bodie trying to get it in over the line, but he's put himself offside by reaching back into neutral ice to drag it in. Here's a look at the deflection.
There's the hit. Here comes the counterattack. Havlat sort of joined in for a moment. And the Leafs lose the points again. That's been going on all game long off the rush. Wingels goes to the net and redirects it.
Wingels, a 6th-round pick, 177th overall from Miami University.
And he scored exactly the same way early in the second period Saturday night against the Montreal Canadiens, going to the net and redirecting the puck in front of the net.
Out into the center ice area, grabbed off again. Boyle turns back.
That's Wingels' third goal now in 2 games.
We told you that the Sharks lead the league in shots on goal. They also are 5th fewest in shots allowed, 27.6. The Leafs have just 7, 1 in this second period.
They've been outshot 13-1 now in the second period here.
Here's Thornton. A rink-wide pass. Burns going to the front of the net. Thornton is creeping in. Other side, a shot, scores! Joe Pavelski.
Well, Jake Gardiner jumps up into the play here, and then the Leafs turn the puck over. This becomes now a 3-on-2 break, and a pretty little play on a change by the San Jose Sharks. As Pavelski comes off the bench, and then Reimer on the transitions kind of loses his balance trying to get across, and it goes in between his arm and his body, and suddenly the Sharks are breaking this game open here.
Thornton will get the first assist and Boyle the other on Pavelski's 33rd goal of the season. Played into the Toronto bench and out of play. And 2 goals fairly quickly here have really opened this up.
And this is what they can do to you, the Sharks. Exactly what they did against Montreal Saturday. Montreal had a pretty good first period. We're down a goal, but hanging around in the game, and then all of a sudden it was just like boom, boom, and all of us, and the Sharks just took off in period number 2 and ended up shutting out the Montreal Canadiens 4-0 on Saturday night.
Joe Pavelski with his 33rd goal of the season. Marleau in the near corner and gets it behind the net. Justin Braun with a pass through the neutral zone, swatted away momentarily there by Gleason. Played down into the corner, lifted around on the boards then by Riley. Back of the net it goes again, trying to come out on the near side with a backhand. Is smothered as Marleau tried to make a move right on the goal line, and Reimer was able to cover up.
And that was 2 goals in 1 minute and 19 seconds for the San Jose Sharks.
James Reimer, who hasn't played a great deal lately, is facing one of the top offenses in the National Hockey League. And right now, they're having their way with the Maple Leafs. 29-7 are the shots on goal. Played around the boards and out into the center ice area. Demers shoots it back into the Toronto zone. Around back of the net now. Centering pass goes off a stick. Still in the Toronto end. Marleau loses it. The Leafs get it out, and here's Kesselway. Kessel in on the right side, trying to go wide. He does, goes sweeping in front of the goal, and Bozak couldn't deliver a backhand try for him. Played to the near side. Gobbled up there by Jake Gardiner in front of the goal, and a shot by Kessel is steered away by Niemi. At the blue line, a long drive is well wide of the goal by Ranger, who I think broke his stick. He's headed for the bench. Couture sends it deep into Toronto territory. Both teams taking the opportunity to change. Riley gets it ahead for Kadri. Back for Riley off his stick. Controlled by the Sharks. Launched in over the line, and Kadri has it there for Toronto. Played ahead on the wing, and out comes Lupul at center. Lupul gets through the defense and trying to get a backhand away. There's going to be a penalty here against the Sharks. And the Leafs will get their first power play opportunity of the game when we return. 4-1 San Jose.
Everybody talks about Vlasic here in San Jose on the blue line, but Jason Braun, he's averaging just over 21 minutes a game, which is the most of any defenseman as we look at the hook there, and he's in the penalty box. And the one good chance for the big line tonight, and the only chance was right there, and a good save by Niemi. And coming in, they have been red hot.
And it is a lot more difficult to score when A, you can't get out of your own end, and B, you don't have the puck. But here's the first power play opportunity of the game for Toronto as a result of the penalty to Braun. And the Sharks will get it in over the line. Marleau twisting and turning. He'll drop it into the corner. Bozak trying to tie up his man, and Gardner has the loose disc, and he sends Kessel away with Van Riemsdyk. Kessel in on the right side. Kessel will send it around to the far wing. Van Riemsdyk punches it back behind the goal. Hannon unable to get to it. And now stolen by Demers, but he couldn't get it past the checking there. Van Riemsdyk, who takes his man to the ice, cleared high. Apparently was all right below the shoulders for Gardner to keep it in, but it does get thrown down the ice by the penalty killers. Enough. Minute 7 to go on the penalty. Kadri gains the zone, stumbled, had the puck in his skates, couldn't control it. Down the ice it goes again. Reimer's out of the cage. Tangled up there with Couture a little bit. Lupul couldn't handle the outlet pass. And Vlasic back into the game after that clip by the skate of Bozak. And we get a whistle here and a face-off coming back in the center ice area.
If I were to pick a team to win the Stanley Cup right now, 2 teams would come to mind, the Chicago Blackhawks. But I think right now I pick this team, Joe, from what I've seen this year. They are deep throughout their lineup. They're big. They can skate. Their goaltender's been terrific, and their defense is very mobile.
And they're very deep. They got 4 lines they can throw at you. What is going to be interesting, though, is the history that's gone before, and whether they get a little tight around the collar when it does come to playoff time.
Well, tonight, Tyler Kennedy's sitting, and Raffi Torres is sitting. And last game against Montreal, Marty Havlat was a coach's decision to give you the kind of depth they have up front.
Brought in over the line, knocked down on the play was Kadri, and it is sent out and down the ice again, and the penalty will expire without the Leafs getting a shot on goal.
And they didn't have to do anything at the trade deadline because they got Burish back. And they also got Torres back after missing the entire season. One with a back injury and one with a knee injury.
Riley got the puck down into the San Jose end, but Patrick Marleau was able to get it out. Here's Burns away on the right side. Burns knocked away, volleyball to the line, but it doesn't clear, and a long shot is snapped over top of the goal now by Matt Irwin. Played up on the wing for Holland, and now here's Gleason getting it to center and tipped in over the line by Kuhlman. Stolen there by Clarkson. Did the goaltender touch that in the non-trapezoidal area?
He might be the worst puck-handling goaltender I've ever seen. Niemi, he won't even go near it to stop it behind the net. So I think they just tell him to stay in the blue paint and don't move.
What you're saying is there are warts.
Oh, yeah.
Here the Sharks back in with a drop pass for Irwin. A shot! That was stopped by Reimer. The rebound was in the blue paint, but the Leafs get it out. Demers back into the Shark zone, being chased there by Troy Bodie. Out to center ice it comes. Havlat across the line, tied up by Gardner. They'll battle for it there, and it is pushed ahead for Orr. That hit him in the skate. Orr gets a bit of a bump in on Scott Hannon, and it's down on an icing charge into the Toronto end. 6:12 to go in the second period.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
Bozak wins the draw, dishes for Kessel. Snapshot is over top of the goal, and he had Niemi deep in the net. Knocked down on the play was Carl Gunnarsson. Leafs take their man down, no penalties on either side. Sent down into the Leaf end. Brought out by Morgan Riley. He hit center ice, got across the line, looks for a man in front, swept it to the goal. It was deflected by Bozak just wide. Brought back the other way by Nieto. Broken up at the defense, but he's able to come up with it. Looks for an outlet, but it was knocked to center ice by Van Riemsdyk. Rattled back in by Jason Demers. Gardner controls on the near side, skates in front of his net, retreats behind the goal. 5:25 to play in the second period. Sharks scored 2 in the first. They've added 2 in the second. Gardner the lone goal scorer for the Leafs in the first period. A 2-on-1 break. Nieto is the loose man. The pass back. That hit a skate. Now the Leafs have a 3-on-2 going the other way. Clarkson tries to make a move around the play of Desjardins, and he lost it. Here's Raymond in a goal, and he stick-handled himself almost out the door.
And now we got a fight.
Desjardins and Clarkson, and they go down in a wrestling match. Raymond had the great chance, and then
Welcome back to the SAP Center in San Jose, California. It's now time to live the game with the new windows. Sportsnet.ca looks into last night's incredible occurrence at the Dallas bench and the protocol that followed. Rich Peverley's collapse caught everyone by surprise except the Stars medical staff. They were outstanding in stabilizing Peverley at the scene, eventually getting the Guelph native to hospital in stable condition. Live the game with the new windows, one device for everything in your life.
I think there's a movement afoot to name that medical staff the 3 stars of the week in the National Hockey League. I'd vote for that. Great job. Kadri against the boards. Filled in from behind. There's going to be a penalty here to the Sharks. The Leafs are going to go to the power play with 4:47 left to play in the period, and it is Pavelski going to the penalty box.
As he cross-checks Kadri. Right into the boards there, just a little shove. Kadri helps it out a little bit. And Pavelski going into the box.
15-13 the time of the penalty to Pavelski, whose 33rd goal of the season from Thornton and Boyle has lifted the Sharks to a 4-1 lead.
And the top penalty killer for the Sharks is in the box, not only because he's a great puck pursuit player, but he also wins draws.
Now Bozak jousting there with Adam Burish in the face-off area. And the draw is scrummed, and it comes free to Marleau. And Marleau wastes little time getting it down the ice. Gardner starting out of his own end rather slowly, waiting for Kessel to trail. Now he comes to center with a pass on the left wing to Van Riemsdyk. Drop back to Phaneuf. Phaneuf to Kessel. Kessel at the half boards, looking across ice for Gardner. Oh, and the tip pass there by Van Riemsdyk went just wide. What a great pass that was from Jake Gardner. Kessel trailing and bringing it out. Hits the line. Left wing side, Van Riemsdyk back to Phaneuf. Phaneuf gets around one man. Works into the corner, tries to center. That comes out in front of the net. And it's going to be sent out and down the ice by Patrick Marleau. Minute to go in the power play. Gardner coming out of his own end, drops it back. Morgan Riley is there. Gardner's gone to the bench. Kadri to Lupul. Lupul's pass was partially blocked. The Leafs having difficulties getting out of their own end. Gunnarsson drops for Riley. Here's Riley coming to center. Penalty killers in the seats enjoying the action. Into the corner for Morgan Riley. Riley's pass comes back to the blue line to Kadri. Over it comes to Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson far side for Riley. Back to Carl Gunnarsson again. Gunnarsson for Kadri. well outside. There's some traffic in front being there for Lupul. Now down low to Lupul. A jam play doesn't work. They still bang away at it. Niemi is down, but he's got it. So with just 12 seconds left in the penalty, the face-off will be in the circle to the right.
Niemi holds his ground. And the best chance of the power play was before this when James Van Riemsdyk snuck into the slot here. Usually has pretty good hands. He redirects this one just wide and had Niemi beat.
Draw one by Bozak. Phaneuf to Kessel. For Ranger and a shot right on. Niemi is down. And he made the save. Ranger had to make a tough play there to take that off his skate. Got the shot away, but by the time he did, Niemi was able to get across and get square.
Niemi looking through traffic, peeking through, and then nice and square, tracks the puck, gets to the top of the blue paint, push, out, and no rebound.
Faceoff is to his right. 30-year-old veteran from Finland. A shot from the blue line. There's a rebound for Bozak. They swatted into the corner. Bozak back to Ranger. Penalty is over. And Ranger is forced out at center ice. And now a turnover. Burns off the post. Grip Burns off the post as Ranger and Phaneuf got tangled up there, and Burns stripped the puck. Thornton trying to center. Phaneuf stopped that. Burns stepped into him. Phaneuf steps into Thornton, and there's going to be a penalty here. An interference call to Dion Phaneuf.
And Burns rattled that one right off the crossbar before this.
2 minutes for interference.
And interference to Phaneuf as part of that battle with Joe Thornton down low. And here comes Thornton trying to get to the puck. And there he runs interference. And here comes Burns after the miscue here. He had Reimer beat over the glove, and he just rattles it right off the crossbar.
So the face-off is to the left of Reimer with 2:14 left in the period. 30 shots on goal for the Sharks already. Second power play of the game for them. Irwin gets it down into the corner. Trying to feed it back was Wingels. It bounces out into the center ice area courtesy Kuhlman. And the Leafs will get it down into the Shark zone as San Jose takes its time. Coming out on the left wing with Irwin. He did not get to the line, and they're going to call it icing. The linesman Brad Lazarowicz right there says missed it by that much.
And Joe Pavelski, 32 goals on the year, and look at his career stats. And we're going to get a Leaf penalty here. And so a 5-on-3 situation for the San Jose Sharks as Jay McClement in the penalty box. And he holds up Wingels right there, trying to get in the forecheck.
The Sharks have scored twice with a 5-on-3 this year. The Leafs have surrendered 6 goals, while penalty killing 3-on-5. 1:48 left in the period, 1:34 left in the first period. Penalty to Phaneuf. Thornton, Pavelski, Marleau out there, and Marleau has the puck across the line. Couture is going to work the point. 5 forwards on the ice. Couture into the corner. Back it comes to Thornton. Thornton to the far side. Back it comes to Marleau. Marleau near side. Pavelski looking in front. Forced off of it. Couture has it. Back to the blue line. Now Couture with a shot. That's going to deflect wide. Kuhlman trying to get to it. Can't get a stick on it. Logan Couture a pass in front. And that didn't work. Pavelski couldn't handle it. Thornton back, or at least Marleau back at the blue line with a shot. That deflects wide, but Thornton restores. Stolen by the Leafs and sent down the ice. And a scamper for the bench with the 3 penalty killers. Here's Dan Boyle. Dropping for Marleau on the wing to Couture. Back to Marleau. Boyle. Into the corner for Pavelski. Pavelski's pass broken up, sent into the corner. Ranger played it out on the backhand. He'll get it down the ice.
That is an ugly Shark 5-on-3 power play. Wow, good job by the Leafs, but my goodness, all that talent on the ice.
Marlowe's pass goes astray. Thornton in the corner. Back of the net. Sharp angle, doesn't shoot it, and an errant pass is going to come to center, and Phaneuf's out of the box. Trying to feed it ahead, he had Bozak breaking. 4 seconds left in the period. Leafs do a great job on the penalty kill as the horn goes. The damage done over a minute 19. Goals from Wingels and Pavelski. 4-1 Sharks. Let's go to Jeff Marek and the Hockey Central panel.
Joe, thanks very much. It seems as if the rink is tilting the way of the San Jose Sharks. A text I get from someone within the organization a second ago. Keep the puck, limit their speed. It's the West Coast way, and that's what we saw in evidence in that second frame as the San Jose Sharks pull ahead. Doug MacLean, Billy Jaffe in the second intermission. How are San Jose doing this, and specifically shutting down the Kessel line?
Back here at the SAP Center in San Jose, 2 unanswered goals a minute 19 apart have proven to be a 4-1 San Jose lead. Let's go downstairs to Christine and Chris.
Thank you, Joe. Chris, it's a game that the Sharks are dominating in so many ways. What are some of the little ways you're noticing?
This is a puck possession clinic so far by the San Jose Sharks, and we're seeing why they lead the league in shots for. It's all 3 zones. Here the Leafs are on a power play, trying to get a breakout. Not going anywhere. So look at them circle back, pin the Leafs in their own zone. This is the sort of stuff we saw right throughout the game, and it's why the Sharks are one of the best. Here in the neutral zone, Joe Pavelski, nice little play. Brent Burns gets a breakaway off the crossbar, else it's even worse. And here's another one where Jake Gardiner dumps the puck into the zone. The Leafs are trying to establish a bit of a forecheck. No, not happening. To Mers, to Burish, to Desjardins, back to Burish, and look at the Sharks can take the puck right up the ice and get another chance. It's the cycle game, it's controlling the puck, but it's in all 3 zones, I think, is really what's critical here.
And when you look at it, it isn't just their top line. Is there a player that maybe personifies the kind of depth this team has?
Well, Tommy Wingels is the guy tonight. You look back to the first period when he scored that goal that probably should have counted. Great end-high coordination, sneaks it by James Reimer. The referees blew the whistle. Of course, then he comes out in the second period, throws a big hit on Peter Holland, goes back up the ice and scores a goal, his 15th of the year. And I think as you see Tommy Wingels here, this is why the Sharks are a Stanley Cup contender. This guy was a 6th-round pick in 2008. They've had a chance to be patient with him. He's a 3rd-line player now, has 15 goals after tipping that one home. And that is the sort of the organizational depth that maybe we don't think about because we look at their stars, but he's a guy who's made a difference tonight.
Well, Joe, let's get ready for the third. Back to you.
Shots are 31-12 in the game. The Leafs have 12 seconds left in the penalty to Jay McClement as they've killed off a minute 34 of a 2-man advantage. And it's about the only thing they can hang their hat on here tonight has been their penalty killing as it's cleared into the Toronto bench. And 6 seconds now left in the penalty.
You heard Chris talk about the players that the San Jose Sharks have been able to pick up late. Well, they also pick up a guy like James Sheppard, and what a story he is. A former first-round pick of the Minnesota North Stars. He had an ATV accident in September just before a season a couple of years ago. We actually missed 2 years of hockey because of it. He cracked his kneecap in I don't know how many places, and he re-injured it. And here he is now back in the National Hockey League, playing a real good role here for the San Jose Sharks at the moment in the 3rd-line position, and they really like this kid, and he's been terrific the last couple of weeks.
Thomas Hertl, another individual we haven't mentioned as well.
He is skating, Joe. Yeah, he's skating. They think he may be ready for the last week or so of the season, but Todd McClellan, as he mentioned to me, said he might be skating, he might be ready, but he's a young player, so we're going to be very careful bringing him back into the lineup.
Here's a chance now for Raymond in over the line. Weak shot, steered wide of the net then by Niemi. Played around back of the net into the far corner and sent back to the blue line. A long shot deflects wide of the net. Played off the boards to center, and it'll be Gleason backpedaling into his own zone. Gleason lays it off the boards and deflected into the zone by Mason Raymond. Bozak up forechecking as the Sharks just lifted into the center ice area, knocked down by Ranger. His pass was gobbled up by Boyle, and the Sharks will reorganize in the neutral zone. Pressing the attack, Demers firing it in. Ranger slowed it up. Kessel couldn't help him out. Back to the blue line it comes. Long shot. Blocking arm save with a big rebound. Still in front of the goal and unable to find it was Matt Nieto. Van Riemsdyk shoots it back down into San Jose territory. Vlasic frees it up for Marleau. And out come the Sharks with Marleau to center. And Pinot trying to step in and hit Marleau. And he nailed James Van Riemsdyk, who is slow to get up.
Oh boy, he's in trouble too. As I don't think he knows where he is at the moment. He was not expecting, obviously, this.
Van Riemsdyk down on all fours, getting to his skates slowly. As Paul Aon is out there looking at him, and pretty good hit taken there by Van Riemsdyk, but he's up. He's coming over to the walkway to head to the Leaf dressing room.
And you worry about concussion there, because he actually got leveled by his own teammate.
Phaneuf had the bomb doors open. He was looking for Marleau and missed.
Did he ever miss?
Dion Phaneuf is one of the best open ice hitters. When he does get you lined up. That time it was the crosshairs were off. Draw one by the Sharks. A long shot over top of the net. Down the boards, pushed in by Braun. Little battle in the near corner. Leafs have a day off tomorrow and then tangle with the LA Kings in Los Angeles on Thursday night. Centering pass steered wide by Reimer, played high to center ice by Toronto. And this is going to be waved off by the linesman. Mason Raymond was taking the spot of Van Riemsdyk. Ahead for Brett Burns. Got into the corner against Gardner. Burns sent it back of the net. Pavelski, side of the net. Thornton gets it in front. And Burns shoveled it over top of the net and up into the screen and out of play.
Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the Molson Canadian Beer Fridge, Project Indonesia. See the whole story online.
And here's the last chance. Reimer one knee down and has no idea when it tips over top of the net. By the way, the Sharks as well in this game, 60% the face-off dot. Another reason why they've had the puck all game long.
Cleared down into the zone, and Clarkson gets there to deny icing. Cycles behind the net for Lupul. Lupul forced into the corner. Out trying to come out with it. Back to the blue line. Gardner had to back off for fear that Logan Couture could break. And it's out into the center ice area. Pumped down into the zone. It's going to go off the side of the goal and be an icing charge against Toronto. From the Department of Figures Don't Lie, but Liars Don't Figure, Joe Thornton is the fourth highest giveaway player in the National Hockey League, 78. He just happens to be third in takeaways with 63. So you got the puck a lot and you're creative, you're going to give it away. But once you've given it away, Joe Thornton goes and gets it back for you. Desjardins into the corner. Behind the net, Mike Brown. Taken down there by Ranger. Brown works into the corner. The Chicago native trying to dig it free. Ranger freed it up. Gardner got it up on the boards, but couldn't get it past the pinching defenseman. Now it comes free to Clarkson. He's bodied there by Brown. Cleared to the line, but not out. Pass goes into the slot, rolls to the side of the net. Reimer got enough of it, says the official, to stop play. And another face-off in the Toronto end. Change of players coming for the Maple Leafs. And I doubt very strongly, even if he is eligible to come back, that we would see James Van Riemsdyk for the remainder of this game.
No, you won't. And Tyler Ashton, who's played very well for the Toronto Marlies when going to the American Hockey League, deserves a chance to get some extended looks and ice time. And I think you'll see him next up for the Maple Leafs, regardless of how James Van Riemsdyk is. Perhaps next game in Los Angeles.
Here's what has gone on in the last 2 years in a Leaf uniform. And it has been one of the best deals that the Leafs have made in recent memory. Pass intercepted by Holland. He'll chip it down into the Shark zone and go in there after it with Matt Irwin. Tie it up, or slides in to carry the puck into the crowd. And it is played around on the boards by Havlat. Shepard launches it high to center ice. Gleason sends it ahead for Holland. Peter Holland in on the right side for Riley. Knocked away from him by James Shepard. And it's back the other way, a 2-on-1 break. Going hard to the net. Wingles a shot, then off the wing from Havlat. Goes up into the screen, out of play.
Riley gets caught on this one, stepping up. And again, a turnover at the offensive blue line creates the 2-on-1 after Riley steps up. And Reimer just gets a piece of this Havlat attempt. And Riley's way up the ice gambling. And doesn't help the cause, of course, with the giveaway once he jumps.
Draw to the right of Reimer. Scrummed. Bodie able to play it to the line, and that was out, but it's called back, and now they score. I don't think there's any question that was outside the blue line. The Sharks make it 5-1.
Well, let's have a look at it. Pavelski with the goal to the side of the net. And the puck goes back to the blue line, and hard to tell there. That looks pretty good there.
Yeah, it is close.
It looks pretty good. And what a pass here right across Jason Demers, and he makes no mistake. And what a year for Pavelski and Reimer. You got to feel bad for him on that one. He has no chance on that terrific passing play by the San Jose Sharks.
4:26 the time of the goal. Pavelski's second of the game and his 34th of the season.
And one thing we should mention is how great the Sharks are at closing gaps. They do not give you any room in the neutral zone at all.
That rang off the side of the post on off the stick of Mason Raymond. Here the Sharks back into the slot. Burns rattle it over top of the net, and he got his own rebound. And now Bozak starts away with Toronto. Bozak faking a pass, carries in, drops it back for Mason Raymond. Raymond steps wide, centers in front of the net, and a shot by Gardner was stopped by Niemi. Our broadcast position is right over the blue line here. I thought that was out, but the replay showed it was close enough to be called.
Well, there's one thing, Joe, that's a little closer than you, and that's the linesman on the ice looking right down the blue line.
Yeah, but his eyes may not be nearly as good.
And you're saying we're close? We're up in the rafters. I hate to break it to you, Joe.
Yeah,
I have to duck down to say hello. Hello, Joe. Now I'll stand up again behind the rafters.
It is the rafters, all right. The Leaf brass is sitting up here in the rafters, too. During the Stanley Cup playoffs back in '94, they had us in the rafters when this wasn't as posh as it is now. And we were in the corner of the rink trying to do the game. Kadri back for Toronto, far side, and a wrist shot took Niemi off the shoulder. And it just sting a little bit. Riley with the shot, and it's out into the center ice for Tim Gleason. Gleason for Lupo, in across the line. Lupo for Clarkson out of his reach. Sent back to the goal, and Kadri couldn't get it. Burish got it to the line, but not out. And the Sharks will play it out into the center ice area. Here's Burish across the line. Knocked high in the air by Colton Orr. Played by Ranger to center ice to Kadri. Kadri carries back in over the line. Ran into a hit there and was taken down. Brown comes back the other way. Brown and Ranger into the corner. Gardner engages Brown. And the puck is dragged out and set up on the wing, but it goes off the skate of Jay McClement and ends up in the Toronto bench. The Sharks have added to their lead here in the third. It's 5-1. And we talked about being up into the rafters. Well, this is where the visiting staff have to go. And there's Dave Poulin and Rick St. Croix up in the rafters.
Notice that they have the air masks on. The air's so thin up there.
Well, it's a skybox. It is a little ways away. It's a great building for noise, though. It's a flat
fans
roof.
Here,
fans are great, but the building really enhances the noise because of the flat roof and the lack of really any kind of buffering by any stretch. Here's McClement getting to the red line. He's going to chip it in. Was pushed off the disc there a little by Wingles. Out behind the net, McClement battles his man as the play goes up on the left wing side and is pushed down into the Toronto zone.
Well, Todd McClellan calls this the seventh man here in San Jose with the way this San Jose crowd gets the team going, particularly if they get an early goal.
Well, they got an early goal tonight at 3:08. Classic. Gardner would tie it a minute 15 later. But 4 unanswered goals have subsequently blown this game wide open.
If you've just joined us, James Van Riemsdyk in the locker room after getting hit by his own player, Dion Phaneuf. You don't want to speculate. It looked kind of like he was wobbly going off the ice. Remember, he has a history, a little bit of a history of concussions. In the 11-12 season, he missed 15 games with a concussion.
Played out into the center ice area. And back to retrieve it is Troy Bodie. He got it ahead, but it was cut off there. Couture gets in over the line against Kuhlman. Now a loose puck in front of the goal. Down is Reimer. The pass came in front. Ranger knocked it away. Shot from the blue line is smothered by Reimer after knocking that down. And there'll be a face-off coming in the Toronto end.
UEFA Champions League soccer returns to Sportsnet. Barcelona, Manchester City, Wednesday at 3:30 on Sportsnet East, Ontario West and Pacific. At the same time as well on Sportsnet World, Paris Saint-Germain and Bayer Leverkusen. Looking forward to both those games, and Barcelona looking to rectify, which has been a tough week for them in La Liga in Spain. Guys?
And Henny, you are a big Real Madrid fan. We're keeping an eye on your situation. Down into the zone goes Clarkson. Now Gunnarsson to Lupol. Pass up on the wing. Kadri sends it back to Phaneuf. And now Gunnarsson with a feed ahead that Clarkson couldn't handle. Out come the Sharks once more. 11:16 to go in the third period. Reimer plays it off the glass for Lupol. And he'll turn with some skating room now in his own zone. Lupol dropping it back to Phaneuf.
And if you're a Leaf fan, you're going to get some pretty good news here in a second, as we're getting news that James Van Riemsdyk is on his way back on the ice.
Well, then we were both wrong. I thought they'd keep him even though with the score it is, but it shows you the competitiveness of James Van Riemsdyk. Down into the corner and behind the net. Here the Sharks trying to center. It is blocked. Grabbed off then by Couture. In along for Nieto. Couture with it again. Almost tackled there by Carl Gunnarsson without a call. Boyle back at the blue line to Couture. Couture taken to the boards by Gleason. Centering pass knocked away, and it'll be brought out at center ice now by Lupol. Lupol up on the right wing side as you get a look at Van Riemsdyk coming back. Lupol tries to center, and it is launched high to center ice. Burns was in behind Gardner, and Gardner was able to knock it away. Now another chance for Milo, and on goal! Off the stick knob and over top of the goal. Blue line for Braun, down low. And the Sharks have been toying with the Leafs from midway through the second period. Burns to the blue line. Near side for Braun. Pass into the slot. Pavelski to Thornton. Back it goes to the blue line. A shot off the glove. Another shot stopped by Reimer. And he's going to get the rebound covered up. And Van Riemsdyk coming back onto the ice. That's the good news. The bad news, it's 5-1 San Jose.
And wealth management all in one minute. Now it's time to check out.
Anything for Hockey is brought to you by Molson Canadian. Diehard fan, proud partner of the Leafs.
Well, James Van Riemsdyk gets absolutely smoked by his own teammate here. As Phaneuf nails him right in the head. He goes off, goes to the quiet room, and seems to be okay as he's coming back on the ice and did moments ago.
Ranger gets it up on the left wing. Holland couldn't get it secured, and it is tipped right back down into the Toronto end by Wingels. Gardner reverses the puck for Ranger behind the net. He makes a long lead pass for Orr, who tipped it into the zone. And Antti Niemi, who may be bored down there, decides to cover up on it.
We'll see how much Randy Carlyle uses Van Riemsdyk, who's sitting on the bench at the moment, but Kessel's not been out there for a while either, as the big line's been keeping the bench warm a lot of this third period.
42-17 are the shots on goal favoring the San Jose Sharks. Jay McClement with Orr out there. And McClement gets the puck down into the corner. Battles for it there, trying to dig it away from Desjardins. Now here's McClement with it once more. Still working the cycle on the boards. Played it down into the corner for Orr, who stepped into his man, but the Sharks have it freed up, and Brown has a long lead pass go astray and down for icing.
Reimer now with 42 shots on him. And one thing about it, he's not going to quit. And he made a pretty darn good save here on Patrick Marleau. Hit the shaft of his stick, but he stayed right with him on the breakaway attempt after Gardner gave the puck away.
Well, Van Riemsdyk is back into the game. Bozak along with Kessel out there with them. That is tipped down wide of the net. Icing is going to be called, and it'll be brought back into the zone.
Well, we're a young defenseman. There are lessons to be learned in games like this. And as well as Gardner's played the last couple of months, in a game like this, he can get exposed by trying to do that one extra play that he likes to do. And against good teams, you're going to get burnt. He got a goal tonight, but then he's been a little bit too active as well on the blue line. He's not alone. I'm not picking on him only. But for players like him and Morgan Riley, you get a pretty good lesson on a puck possession team, and you just will not make that extra move to beat a player against a team like the San Jose Sharks. And these two kids are going to be dandies. They just keep getting better, but we all have to remember that there are young defensemen, and young defensemen take longer to develop, even though they've both been terrific this year.
Sharks on their way to their 25th home ice win, their 41st victory of the year. Puck hit Kuhlman at the side of the net in the face, and he is heading to the Toronto bench as a result, and the long shot went wide of the goal.
Leafs need to just get this 8 minutes over with and get out of here. Worry about LA in a few days.
On to the right wing side, brought out now by Kadri for Mason Raymond. Back for Kadri, got the shot away and a good glove save, knocking it away by Niemi. Pass back into the center ice area. Gleason might have had an opportunity to really step into Patrick Marleau there, who was looking for the puck. Now Raymond a shot, and he wired that wide of the goal. Another 3-on-1 break now. In over the line, Thornton the wheelman with a shot, and that went wide of the Leaf net. Raymond turns back in his own zone. Reverse the puck. Gleason didn't see it. It's sent to the far corner. Here's Thornton with it again. Thornton centers in front of the net for Pavelski, looking for the hat trick. Against the boards, a pass. Pavelski after it in the corner. Wrap-around attempt. Down is Reimer, swimming. And the puck goes into the corner, and Burns gets it back to the point. Irwin into the slot. Picked off by Toronto. The Leafs are in need of a change. And Kadri will send a long shoot-in on the goaltender.
They got a break there as Irwin fanned on it, as the entire group for Toronto were exhausted. Again.
Thornton with a three-point night. Pavelski with a couple of goals. And the big boys at San Jose have done their work here this evening. Pass out into the center ice area for Clarkson. Look out, that's headed for the Toronto bench area. 6 minutes and 26 seconds left to go. This is game 2 of 5 on the road. 3 in the Western Conference, and then 3 huge games, including the first game at home with Tampa Bay.
This time Phaneuf got the teal sweater instead of the white one in the corner and rubbed Shepard out.
So after the game in Los Angeles on Thursday, it's off to Washington, where the Capitals have been slumping. That is an afternoon game. And then into Detroit, a day after St. Patrick's Day, to tangle with the Red Wings, who are really beaten up and they're struggling.
And then the tough news is they come right back after a long road trip and play at home
against Tampa Bay,
which is a ridiculous schedule, but most teams have been saying that.
Reimer got knocked down. Puck in front of the net. The deflection was sent by Burris just wide of the goal. The Washington game and the Detroit game, and we've got a fight with Gleason, and Desjardins took a couple, and Gleason's throwing a couple more. Down, up, down, up, down, down. Andrew Desjardins from Lively and Tim Gleason, and a spirited go-round there. Gleason and Desjardins in the box, an extra minor to the Leafs. Let's check in with Ken and Ivanka what's going on with Connected.
All right, thanks, Joe. After the Canucks' massive meltdown, who's taking the blame in Vancouver?
And NFL free agent season is now on the go, and the Dolphins pull off a rather interesting trade. That's coming up on Connected. Joe?
We mentioned earlier that the Sharks are 5-1-1 in this stretch against Eastern opponents. They leave for a road trip now with a stop in Columbus, then Long Island and the Rangers before coming home to host Florida to round out that dozen games against the East. And then they have a couple of important games with Anaheim coming up. Washington Capitals as well will be here to tangle with the Sharks. Down the ice it goes. This is the 4th power play opportunity of the game for the Sharks. Tipped off the glass and deep into the Toronto zone. Phaneuf carried in against the end glass. Broken up now and brought out at center by Mason Raymond. 3 Leafs are into the rush. So is Van Riemsdyk with him. The pass into the slot. The shot, scores! Short-handed goal for Jake Gardiner, his 2nd goal of the game.
Gardiner jumps in behind the rush. A couple of goals for the kid tonight. And Mason Raymond with both assists. That's the good news. And there's been a little of it for the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight.
8th goal of the season, 2nd of the game, first shorthanded goal of the year for Jake Gardiner. 5-2. And the Leafs, who had been stung by the shorthanded blows of the Islanders, as well as the New York Rangers. And here score one of their own. It is the team's 6th of the season. And it's the 3rd time San Jose has surrendered a shorthanded goal this season.
Well, before this, Wingels hits Reimer. Reimer actually trying to run a pick. Now Gleason goes to challenge him, and Wingles is saying, no, there's not a chance I'm going to do that. There's a slash. And Desjardins comes in, and then that's why those two squared off and went at it. Just to catch up on that whole mess in the Gleason fight. And now the Leafs end up with a shorty because of it. Go figure.
43rd fight of the season for the Maple Leafs. 3 of them in this game. Knocked out of the air. Pavelski trying to drag it in front. And Van Riemsdyk is able to back it on the backhand to center ice. Braun turning now for the Sharks. Slaps it in off the boards and around to the far side. Ranger got in the way there to play it along the boards for Carl Gunnarsson. It's played to the line. Knocked down there by Vlasic. Vlasic gets it freed up. A pass in front of the net from Thornton didn't work. Burns in the corner though as it's lifted into the near corner for Pavelski. Burns looking for a loose puck in front of the net. Gets it, then couldn't get a shot away. Pavelski to Thornton. Thornton to Pavelski. Blocked in front of the net. On a big block there by Ranger, who is slow to get up and now just getting to his skates.
It's a stinger. You know, you look at this Sharks team, and the only negative that you can see from the group is their power play. And this is one of the better opportunities that they've had on the power play all game long. And a great block by Ranger here, getting into the shooting lane and making a great save. The Sharks 0 for 4 tonight, 2 for their last 52 on the power play. And that includes...
There's a backhand in front, knocked down by Reimer, still free! Scores! Reimer's having some words with the official, but the scramble in the net. Van Riemsdyk was in behind the goaltender, and it ends up dropping into the net.
Well,
the Sharks make it 6-2.
Van Riemsdyk knocks Shepard right in to Reimer. That's why Reimer doesn't like it much. And then the puck goes in during that mess. It hits the post originally, comes right back out, and then goes into the net afterwards.
Carl Gunnarsson ends up in behind James Reimer.
Somehow the puck got through all the bodies and into the net. 6-2.
Van Riemsdyk was really into the hack, whack, and slash in front of the net. Now we get Phaneuf and Marty Havlat having a nose-to-nose discussion, and Phaneuf drops the gloves. Havlat doesn't want to have anything to do with it.
Well, Havlat's just not a fighter at all.
Now Kessel is in there hanging on to somebody.
And
now things have heated up with Tommy Wingels and Lupul. Wingels denied the invitation from Gleason and earlier on in the game Clarkson, but now Lupul and he are engaged, and now Wingels gets an arm free, so does Lupul.
And this may have started long before this, when Wingels hit Holland before his goal.
And Clarkson asked for the invitation, and Wingels didn't want it.
And Wingels ends up with Lupul.
Phaneuf has gone to the dressing room as well. And this is what may have touched it off, is the hit that you talked about on Peter Holland.
And this was it early in the game, and then this ended up in a Wingels goal as Clarkson chased him all the way up the ice. And then here's how these two get engaged, and Wingels just grabs Lupul. And there's a lot of pushing and shoving concerning Dion Phaneuf before this. And then these two end up going.
So fighting majors to both of those players. With 3:04 left to play in the third period in a 6-2 lead for the San Jose Sharks. Tonight's game summary brought to you by The Brick. Nobody beats The Brick for furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TVs. And that gives you an idea what has gone on. Outshot 45-20.
The big line for the Sharks hot. And Jake Gardiner, who's made some defensive errors, at least has a couple of goals for the Leafs tonight, jumping up into the play.
However, on the other side of the coin, the Leafs are not going quietly into the night. This has been a fistic endeavor on a number of fronts.
And Joe Pavelski's been an excellent player for the San Jose Sharks throughout the game. He comes off the player's bench here and makes a fantastic shot on Reimer in the second period, and in the third period gets another gift on a beautiful looking play by San Jose. And that whole line has been great. And Pavelski, since going with Thornton and Burns, has sometimes been quite a force for the San Jose Sharks.
Phaneuf gets a double minor, or Kessel is in the box with a double minor that is being served. Phaneuf goes to the box. We're going to have to get this kind of straightened out because it doesn't appear that Kessel would have been assessed a double minor for what he was doing. It may be Phaneuf for his efforts, and he's been banished from the game with a game misconduct, so I would assume Kessel is serving his double minor for roughing. But once more, the Sharks to the power play. 2:25 left to go in the game. Shot goes off the stick of Kuhlman and into the screen and out of play. Havlat from Shepard and Wingles is the last scoring play. Randy Carlyle and his group will head on to Los Angeles to tangle with the LA Kings on Thursday night. And that will conclude the western portion of this 5-game road trip. Morgan Riley on the backhand sends it out and down the ice.
50, which will be 51, 20, and 11. These three teams against the Eastern Conference this season at home. LA, San Jose, and Anaheim.
That's frightening, isn't it?
So for the Leafs to get 2 is not bad. If they could ever get anything in LA, they're doing pretty well on this first part of the swing.
Into the corner and around behind the net. Nieto forced by Riley. Plays down into the corner, now into the slot. A rising shot by Marleau and over top of the goal. Marleau with it again. Plays it back to the blue line to Braun. Braun sends it off on the far side. Traffic in front of the net, still there. Marleau shifting around to the near side, but couldn't get the puck, and it bounces out into the center ice area. Braun gives it away to Mason Raymond, looking for Morgan Riley, and a big save made by Niemi. Linesman blocked that attempted pass into the zone, and then that turns into an offside.
Sharks should decline the power plays. I mean, again, a good shorthanded chance.
You look at the talent they have.
It's
of
unbelievable.
all of the things you'd think that would be befuddling this team, you would not expect it to be the power play.
And a great save by Niemi on Morgan Riley, who jumps up shorthanded.
22nd in the league.
But tonight, I mean, they've had a 5-on-3 Saturday night. They had nothing. They had a 5-on-3 tonight, nothing. And it's just as cold as ice.
There's a pass at the side of the goal, stopped by Reimer on Burns, and they will hold on. So the draw will be to the left, and a lot of the patrons here at the SAP Center have headed for the exits. And let's go to our 3 stars, brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Leafs. Pavelski, Wingles, and Thornton are the 3 stars of this game as Reimer catches that long shot with 43.1 seconds to go.
And Reimer might make 50 shots. The shot's 47-21 now in favor of San Jose. And San Jose with just 5 shots on the power play of those 47 tonight.
16 shots in the third period, 17 in the second, 14 in the first. Rattled around the boards and unable to keep that in is Jason Demers. So a split thus far on this road trip. The Leafs can file this one away for experience purposes and go to work on the Los Angeles Kings on Thursday night. Vlasic shot off a leg wide. Demers to the side of the net, smothered by Reimer. Todd McClellan is going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders, but he's got the horses to go a ways in the postseason.
And he keeps pushing the right buttons here in San Jose, and he's got some depth to keep players honest. He can pull guys in and out of the lineup. Yeah, that's a real advantage for a coach in this league, in any league.
Well, they've been great fans here in San Jose. They've had some great runs to conference finals. And with the other California teams already having Stanley Cup parades.
You got to get first place in the division. That's key, I think. And frankly, the San Jose Sharks, a complete team effort tonight, and they taught the Leafs a lesson. Simple as that.
2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. Gardner gets both for the Maple Leafs. 6-2 San Jose. Thanks for joining us here on Sportsnet. We'll step aside now and send it to Ken and Ivanka and Connected.